CBS Wednesday.
Not much precipitation expected for tonight into the day on Tuesday. Going to be a cold one too, but there is a warm-up in store. Details coming up.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, Congress is on break, but the Department of Homeland Security remains shut down. Now, one top Democrat is demanding lawmakers return to work immediately. Plus, big news for the Upper Peninsula. $50,000 in federal grants is heading to support arts and culture programs across the region. And a special event to honor loved ones and support cancer patients is happening this weekend in Escanaba. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Welcome in. A first look at your forecast as we're still trying to get through the beginning portions of spring where, as we know at this point, it's not out of the question to see some snow. We are going to be on the dry side of things though. For tomorrow, we'll get some more seasonal temperatures. We should be into the lower 40s. We'll be stuck into the mid to upper 30s here in Marquette. We'll get to the lower 40s elsewhere like Iron River, Iron Mountain, but we will all get that sunshine. Going to be nice and dry. We'll get some warmth later on in the day, and I'll break down your forecast details on the rest of the week in a few short minutes.
Kelly, thank you very much. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is calling on the House Speaker to bring the House back to D.C. so Congress can finish funding for DHS. Congress is on a 2-week break while the department remains shut down. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp shares the latest from Capitol Hill.
This week and last week, the halls of Congress have been empty. Members are out on a 2-week recess. Some members have been outspoken about leaving Capitol Hill while the Department of Homeland Security remains shut down. Over the weekend, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said members should return to D.C. to vote on ending the partial shutdown.
We can reopen this government today if you bring to the House floor a bipartisan Senate-passed bill today.
Before the break, the Senate sent a funding measure to the House that would fund DHS except for Border Patrol and ICE. The House rejected the bill and passed their own separate legislation that would fund DHS through mid-May. And late last week, the Speaker and the Senate Majority Leader announced plans for a 2-part track to fund DHS. That plan would include passing the Senate's measure and then separately using the procedural tool known as reconciliation to fund Border Patrol and ICE. Republicans would not need Democratic support for it to pass. Before and during the recess, members blamed the other side for the shutdown showdown.
They want to defund this agency and make our country vulnerable, make Americans less safe. I'm not going to have anything to do with that, Mr. Speaker. I want to fund the whole department.
House Republicans running around this town acting like nothing more than a reckless rubber stamp to Donald Trump's extreme agenda. And that's what's happening right now. Because what House Republicans want to do is to continue to fund Donald Trump's violent, extreme mass deportation machine that has resulted in the death of at least 3 American citizens.
In Washington, D.C., Rachel Knapp, WZMQ 19 News.
Michigan voters will head to the polls in August to choose party nominees for governor. But for other statewide offices, the process works a little differently. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy breaks down how parties select candidates for Secretary of State and Attorney General.
When you look at your ballot in November, you'll see nominees for governor, secretary of state, and attorney general. But those candidates don't all get there the same way.
These nominating conventions are a relatively recent attempt by both parties to give their party a head start.
For governor, candidates must collect enough ballot signatures to secure a spot on the ballot and win a primary election in August. But for secretary of state and attorney general, parties use a convention process driven by delegates. Republicans already held their spring convention endorsing Anthony Forlini and Doug Lloyd. Democrats will follow later this month.
The convention that meets in August has the ability then to overrule, but lately it's been seen as not good for the party to change change directions once these choices have been made.
That means these spring picks aren't the final step. The official nominees are chosen by party delegates during the August conventions. Those delegates ultimately determine who appears on the ballot in November.
Parties determining the power based on presidential support. And that's true for Republicans too, by the way. So both parties operate very similarly that way.
Supporters say the system can be less expensive than a statewide primary and helps parties organize early, focusing money and resources before the general election.
These nominating conventions are basically like, we want to get our act together earlier, so we're going to do this now. And then we're going to really stamp it officially come August.
In the end, whether through a primary or a convention, voters will still decide who wins these offices in November. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
The Upper Peninsula Arts and Culture Alliance has been awarded $50,000 in federal grants to continue serving the UP's economy through its arts and culture programs. The UP ACA first received $30,000 through the National Endowment for the Arts, Grants for Arts Projects, to invest in local nonprofits that develop economic activity, looking to expand more artistic engagement across all 15 counties. A second award of $20,000 will focus on research funding for a comprehensive study on how this activity aligns with employment and economic growth in the region. More updates on upcoming developments from the grants will be released in the next few months. The Delta County Cancer Alliance is gearing up for its annual spring fundraiser. Our own Escanaba Bureau reporter Lily Simmons spoke with the leadership team about the event and how the organization is helping those who need support.
The Delta County Cancer Alliance is an entirely volunteer-run nonprofit that serves local cancer patients.
We help about 800 people a year, but we have a database of about 1,200 people. In their first year, they're eligible for up to $800 in financial reimbursement toward travel, medications, durable medical equipment, nutritional resources.
The Alliance replenishes its funding through community efforts, including its annual Luminary event scheduled for 11 a.m. on April 11th at Blessed Hope Baptist Church.
You purchase a bag in memory of or in honor of loved ones. You can decorate your bag however you like. We put the candles in them and they go up on the altar and they're just beautiful.
The event has had a few different homes and dates over the years.
We used to have the Luminary event down at the park in the summertime. We had to get sand from the beach. We had to get actual candles. We put them in the bags and we'd pray that the bags didn't catch on fire. We keep trying to move it. Now it's April. One time we got like snowed out. I'm telling you, it's just incredible.
Because no matter the conditions, Alliance volunteers and supporters have always found a way to keep it going.
We've got people that come in every year. It's kind of a spiritual event, emotional event. It's just nice to see people come for it.
The people that come that have lost someone and they see their luminaries up there, they're really touched. It's a good memory. And then they have all these other people that can support them at the same time.
Luminary bags can be purchased at the event or in advance at the Alliance office between 1 and 3:30 p.m. and they cost $5 a piece. Alliance leaders say each contribution goes a long way toward making someone facing a cancer diagnosis feel seen, supported, and less alone.
We're really proud as a board of the Delta County Cancer Alliance that we've been able to withstand a lot of changes, a lot of challenges, and continue to provide this service.
Reporting in Escanaba, Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News.
The Upper Peninsula Construction Council is calling for high schoolers in the Marquette area interested in trades work this summer. Applications for the 2026 Trades Summer Camp are now open online through April 30th. Following an educational hiring process, the UPCC and Michigan Works will allow 30 high school students ages 14 through 17 to experience paid working opportunities in 10 different job types.
You know, the goal is to create pathways to success, whatever that looks like. And this is designed to give them at least a brief experience working with all the trades across the UP over the course of 5 weeks.
This year's program will run from July 6th through August 5th. All students must be committed to its full extent. You can find more details on WZMQ19.com. Kelly Rowland has your first warning weather forecast when we come back. Plus, history is made today as the Artemis II mission travels further than any manned spacecraft has done before, and how an experimental treatment may, help save one man's life after he was diagnosed with ALS, and why doctors are calling it a medical breakthrough. That and more when we come back.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
It's Earth Month in the Upper Peninsula. Small actions make a big impact. Recycle 906 accepts cans, cardboard, plastics, and more, helping keep the UP clean and thriving. This Earth Month, recycle smarter. See what we accept at recycle906.com.
Tuesday, Patrick Wilson. Have you ever had anything go wrong on Broadway?
I did this show, The Full Monty, on Broadway. When we're all naked, usually only the audience gets the silhouettes. They got more than they bargained for.
Plus, Shrinking's Ted McGinley. Next, Kelly, you also directed yourself in Insidious. What's that like? Were you like, you did amazing? Like, crushed it?
No, it's usually, that's terrible.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ CBS.
Big refund, big project, big savings at Menards. Turn your tax refund into your next big project. Spend less time maintaining your deck and more time relaxing. Get Ultra Deck Rustic for a value of $219 per lineal foot after rebate. Plus, get free estimates using our deck design program. Shop the largest selection of garage doors in stock, or design your own using our free garage door design program. This 9x7 garage door is a value of $399 after rebate.
Save big money at Menards. Chips or cracks, we've got your back. Brian's Auto Glass.
Cracked windshield, chipped glass? Don't wait. Call Brian's Auto Glass in Nagani. We specialize in expert windshield replacement, chip and crack repairs, and safety system calibrations to keep your vehicle road ready. Can't come to us? No problem. We'll come to you with our mobile service. Fast, professional, local. Brian's Auto Glass, where clear vision starts.
Watch the Medical Minute, Thursdays at 6 and 11, only on 19 News. Brought to you by OSF Healthcare. Now, WZMQ TV 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
Welcome back on this Monday night. We're hoping for some warmer temperatures. We know it can still snow in the Upper Peninsula at this time of the year. 2.5 inches for today, but the high temperatures, we should be into the lower 40s at this point. This is a winter type of feel around that freezing mark. So I know we should be above average, but it's not going to last all week. We have a little bit of that colder start. May have been tough to get out of bed this morning, but we don't have any on land type of winter weather alerts. We have some freezing spray, everything like that into the water. But as for on land, we don't have any weather alerts to deal with for tonight or going into tomorrow. There's just a few little rounds of a wintry mix at the beginning of the week here and through Wednesday where we could see some ice too. But this is your first morning weather futurecast. Maybe a snowflake out to Munising for tomorrow morning, maybe out to Newberry too. But otherwise, we should see some clearing skies. We'll all get some sunshine and it'll help to warm things up a little bit. But then for the start of your Wednesday, this is where we could see some more of that freezing rain as we get the colder temperatures with it. So any of that rain initially might turn to snow at that point too. Sorry about that glitch real quick. But then throughout Wednesday night, we'll get some more rain. So the temperatures will swing all over the place. That's why the precipitation will reflect that. It might be cold enough to support snow, but then in the next hour, it'll turn to that freezing rain before we get rain completely. So it depends where you are, and it just depends when that system moves through. So the next best chance of snow, and this is kind of all encompassing that winter type of precipitation. So we're very likely going to see that snow or the freezing rain, maybe even some sleet here to start off your Wednesday. So probably going to be a slick Wednesday morning commute. For Tuesday though, not seeing too much tomorrow. I put it all the way to 9 p.m. on Tuesday. There may be a few snowflakes. This 1/4 of an inch here may be overdoing it for Marquette. Really not impressed by any of that snow accumulation. But even when we get to that Wednesday system, remember this is the snow outlook. So this tells us that there's going to be a liquid component if we don't see that snow changing too much. So this means means that it's going to be in the form of freezing rain. So now I put in the future ice, and we can see that potential here. We know with that ice storm that just happened, all those precautionary measures not going to be as severe, but this is a little glazing, and it's kind of contained to the western portion of the Upper Peninsula here for your Wednesday morning, and again a little round maybe for Wednesday night too. So just watch out for that slick morning commute, and may still linger to your Wednesday evening. The wind's not really going to contribute all too much in terms of helping us warm up drastically or cool down drastically, but when we get to your Tuesday night and into Wednesday, those winds will be from the south, so that'll at least help to warm things up a little bit. But the temperature outlook for the next 6 to 10 days does point us to slightly above average. Remember, we should be at 42. Wednesday's kind of that transition day with that freezing rain potential where we get away from those winter-like temperatures to more spring-like, and then as we head closer to the weekend, we'll get some 50s back into the mix with plenty of sunshine.
Kelly, thank you very much again. The crew of Artemis 2 made history today as they passed the Apollo 13 distance record that was set in 1970. The 4-person crew of the Orion spacecraft has traveled farther from Earth than any humans in history, reaching a maximum distance from Earth of 252,756 miles. In another record-breaking move, the astronauts conducted a lunar flyby and became the first humans to see some parts of the far side of the moon with the naked eye. Christiane Benavides has the latest on this lunar mission.
Integrity, comm check.
Integrity, we have you loud and clear. How many?
Houston, we have you the same, and it is so great to hear from Earth again. To Asia, Africa, and Oceania, we are looking back at you. We hear you can look up and see the moon right now. We see you too.
The 4-person crew aboard Artemis 2 documented parts of the moon never before seen by the human eye, and the astronauts were in awe.
It's extraordinary to be on the far side of the moon right now, just see it hanging out there and looking back at the Earth.
For 40 minutes, the crew lost contact with NASA as the moon blocked their signal. Earlier Monday, NASA's Artemis 2 astronauts sailed into the record books.
We do so in honoring the extraordinary efforts and feats of our predecessors,
surpassing the Apollo 13 distance record of 248,000 miles from Earth. The astronauts were moved to tears as they suggested naming one of 2 previously unnamed moon craters in honor of Commander Reed Wiseman's wife, who died in 2020.
It's a bright spot on the moon, and we would like to call it Carol.
The crew awoke to the song Good Morning on this historic day, and a special pre-recorded message from the late pioneer Jim Lovell, who commanded the famous Apollo 13 moon mission.
I know how busy you'll be, but don't forget to enjoy the view.
The gravitational pull of the Earth has once again taken over and will ultimately help bring Artemis 2 back home.
The Artemis 2 crew is expected to spend another 4 days in space before re-entering the Earth's atmosphere and splashing down in the Pacific Ocean on Friday. About 35,000 people in the U.S. are living with ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. There is no cure for this neurodegenerative disease. Medical correspondent Dr. John LaPook sat down with a patient in Seattle who is receiving an experimental treatment with the hope of a different outcome than his relatives.
Jeff Vierstra isn't afraid to ski down an iceberg off the coast of Chile or skydive over British Columbia. What does frighten him is his family history.
My mom died of ALS, and all of her siblings did.
And how old were they?
They were in their late 30s and early 40s.
ALS, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, is a progressive disease that causes the nerves controlling muscles to deteriorate. Over time, a patient loses the ability to walk, talk, and eventually to breathe. Vierstra and his sisters all tested positive for a genetic mutation that made it likely they would develop ALS.
Living with that sort of like cloud over you is like mentally and emotionally like really difficult.
Both his sisters developed symptoms. They took part in a clinical trial at Columbia University for an experimental treatment targeting the mutated gene. Neil Schneider, the doctor leading the trial, also examined Vierstra.
We did it. Electrical testing and EMG, and there were abnormalities on the EMG. We thought this meant that this was an early sign of disease onset, and that he was at risk for developing full-blown disease.
Dr. Schneider offered Wierstra the same experimental treatment given to his sisters in what would become the first known attempt to prevent ALS.
I jumped at the opportunity to do that.
You're thinking, let's be proactive.
Yes.
Every few months for the past 3 years, Wierstra has been receiving infusions in his spine that target and disable the mutated gene. Both of Wierstra's sisters eventually developed complications of ALS and died.
I think for them, like, it actually extended their life.
As for the previous mild abnormalities seen on muscle testing,
We repeated that study a year after the abnormality, and it had normalized.
now 41, Wierstra has not developed ALS, outliving many of his family members. How big of a deal is this?
Oh, I think it's a very big deal. And I think there's real hope and opportunity to make this at least a livable disease, one that isn't fatal.
He continues to work as a scientist as well as ski, hike, and travel the world. What are you thinking?
Well, I feel like I'm getting another lease on life, and maybe this actually is working for me.
Doctors hope to use this research on familiar forms of ALS to help people with non-genetic forms. Still to come on your 19 News, we'll find out if the Michigan men's basketball team was able to capture their first NCAA championship in decades. We'll be right back after this.
Want to make moves in your career and bring home a bigger paycheck? Want to pursue your passion and provide for your family without pinching pennies? Then it's time to connect with Michigan Reconnect. With Michigan Reconnect, you can get an associate degree or a skills certificate tuition-free. With flexible classes, a network of support, and free tuition, what's holding you back? If ambition drives you, let tuition be on us. Visit michigan.gov/reconnect to get started. Yes, we're on thin ice. And everything is going up in smoke. Still, some are adding fuel to the fire. While the rest of us see the troubled waters rising. Our planet is under the weather. But when the going gets tough, the tough get, well, you know. Because in the heat of this moment, we're not about to lose our cool. Love it or lose it.
PTSD isn't something that is just going to go away on its own.
Treatment works. It helps.
There's no shame in treatment.
Just do it. Your world will be so different afterwards.
It's a warrior sickness. It's not a coward sickness.
Never too late.
I guarantee you it'll help you.
It will change your life.
It turned my life around.
You can find peace.
I never thought I could feel this good.
Walk through those doors, take the step.
Go get help. It's the best and bravest thing you could ever do.
Treatment works.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. As of just a few minutes ago, it was made official. The University of Michigan has defeated the Connecticut Huskies for the NCAA National Championship in men's basketball. In Marquette, fans gathered to watch the game at the 906 Sports Bar and Grill. Chase Page, who is originally from Australia, became a Michigan fan when he met his girlfriend, Aiden.
Met my beautiful girl 4 years ago at college. Kind of transitioned. I didn't have a team coming from Australia, so it just made perfect sense just to pick Michigan.
They're not playing that well right now. They're not getting boards. They're not even playing aggressive at all, in my opinion, right now. But I think they'll turn it around in the second half.
And they certainly did. Michigan fell behind early in the game, but rallied in the second half. And it was a little scary at the end, but they did manage to claim their first national title since 1989. The head coach of UCLA's women's basketball team says she has a calling, not a job, after her team beat South Carolina by 28 points on Sunday to win this year's NCAA championship title. Bruins head coach Corey Close says the team learned some hard lessons after failing to advance past the Final Four last year.
We literally talked about our goals one time last summer and then reverse engineered that and focused on the character and the habits and the selflessness it was going to take to get there, and it came to fruition.
After the game, the players took part in the traditional cutting down the net ceremony. It's the program's first national title since 1978, before the NCAA era. Two Northern Michigan University social work students turned a semester-long project into a community call to action on Saturday night, reaching out to local organization Room at the Inn and two bands to make it happen. The awareness concert, held at the Ordock Brewing Company, brought together local experts and live music to address homelessness in Marquette, which is at an all-time high. A panel of 4 speakers tackled common misconceptions and ways residents can get involved. The event was free, with donations going directly to Room at the Inn to help fund the shelter and resources.
Really just about showing up and breaking your own personal biases with that community and just working and doing everything you can to humanize the folks that live around you.
The night carried that message into the crowd, drawing the community together over live music and a shared cause. The world of wizardry returns to screens, and a new documentary plays out the drama behind a chess cheating scandal. Gwen Baumgartner has tonight's entertainment headlines.
As filming for the upcoming Harry Potter TV series gets underway, we're getting a look at the magic behind the scenes. The HBO Max special titled Finding Harry, The Craft Behind the Magic is available now, with a look at the set, crew, and creation of Harry Potter's Season 1. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone will debut on Christmas Day. We're getting a closer look at the personal collection featuring items from the life of late actress Marilyn Monroe. The collection includes film memorabilia, clothing, and the program from the event where she famously serenaded John F. Kennedy.
It's well documented that she spent a lot of time in front of the mirror studying how she looked, how she created that Marilyn character. And so it's a really kind of a fun treat to be able to look into the same mirror that she spent so much time in front of.
Some of the pieces in the collection will be featured in an upcoming exhibit at the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures in Hollywood. A new documentary explores the competitive world of chess, which proved pretty scandalous in 2022, following a matchup between 2 grandmasters, including the top-ranked player Magnus Carlsen.
When I sit down at the board, I am better than the other guy.
That was until he lost to a then 19-year-old and cheating allegations took off. Untold Chessmates breaks down the game and the scandal, out tomorrow on Netflix.
Now don't go away. When we come back, Kelly Rowland will have our final look at weather, and the White House puts on the annual egg roll. We'll check it out when we come back.
Up to 50% off list prices during the spring home sale at Slumberland Furniture. Get this Ashley sofa for just $3.99, plus a Sealy Queen mattress for just $4.99. Pay no interest for 36 months on approved credit at Slumberland.
Have you ever been nervous to buy a car? At John's Auto, we make getting a new car easy. Even if you don't know much about cars, we handpick every vehicle on our lot with an amazing warranty. And John's Auto is still here to help you after you buy your car. We've moved! Now we can service your car and detail it so it's super clean. For the best pre-owned cars, the best service, and the best detailing, come see for yourself at John's Auto Marquette.
Pure Outdoor is the first program dedicated to increasingly popular outdoor and eco sports. Individual and adventurous. Journey to the world's most exotic, breathtaking locations. your outdoor.
Escanaba reporter Lily Simmons on WZMQ 19 News.
Up to 50% off list during our huge spring sleep sale at Slumberland. Get this Sealy Queen for just $4.99. This best-selling Sealy Posturepedic Plus for $9.99. Pay no interest for 36 months with approved credit. Only at Slumberland.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
D-E-P-R.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale. Bipolar? Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment.
Anxiety. I thought so.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Sophia Murphy reports at 6 and 11 on WZMQ 19 News.
And a final check of your forecast. Not really concerned about anything for tomorrow. We'll at least stay dry for most of the day. There may be a snowflake, but we'll have that sunshine. The weather alerts are nice and clear, so we're not going to see anything of a watch, warning, or advisory as we head through tomorrow. So even though it's on the colder side of things, at least it'll be calm. We'll get the mid to upper 30s and the lower 40s across the UP, and of course we'll all see that sunshine at some point. The next best chance of precipitation, though, is for Wednesday, and it's going to be likely in the form of freezing rain. So I know this says snow outlook, but this is that mix, that wintry mix, the snow, the rain snow mix, the freezing rain that is going to be for your Wednesday morning. So likely going to be a slick commute there to start off your Wednesday, lingering throughout the day. May transition to rain though through it as we get to the lower 40s. We should be into the lower 40s, and we'll see that for the rest of the week as we get clearing skies past Wednesday and into the weekend. We really get that warmth going with the 50s, keeping it into the lower 50s even as we head into the start of this upcoming week.
Kelly, thank you again. And finally tonight, President Trump and the First Lady presided over the 148th White House Easter egg roll this morning. The president blew a whistle to launch rounds of races on the south lawn of the White House. Children dressed in their Easter best for the event, which also included patriotic activities to celebrate America's 250th birthday this year. President Trump addressed the crowd, flanked by the Easter Bunny.
So today is a very special day. It's a day where we celebrate Jesus. It's a day where we celebrate religion. And it's an honor to be the President of the United States.
Military families attended the event, as well as winners of an online lottery from every U.S. state and territory. The Easter egg roll dates back to 1878. That's all we have for right now, everyone. We'll catch you back here tomorrow. See you then.
Update your home with new GE appliances from Kirkish Furniture and Houghton. GE appliances are built to last, have print-resistant finishes, and offer high performance with energy efficiency. Kirkish has a large selection for both kitchen and laundry, free delivery, and 0% financing.
To remind you that 60% of sales on Amazon come from independent sellers, Jess from Planetary Design will pour 60 cups of coffee for 60